Good morning, beautiful humans. I was really reflecting on something this morning that I wanted to share, and it's the word deserve. I fucking use it all the time, and I hear people using it all the time. And the reality is, I'm really not a fan of this word. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. It really means that you're like worth whatever, entitled to something, et cetera, like fill in the blank there. Um, but when we think about it, there is no deserving one thing or the other. And that also gives the context that we're thinking either we're better than one thing or the other, or that someone else is better, or that we're better than other people. Like, oh, I deserve this thing. But like, who's to say, like, don't we all deserve like this base level, which means there's no deserving. There's just things that are, like basic human rights, right? Like, there's so many people out there that don't have like clean water or food to eat or like a safe home. Oh, they deserve better, right? And this is like a really base needs example, but it's like, no, they have the right to that and they're not receiving it. Like, let's say it for what it is. It's kind of like a sugar coated word in that respect of like, people are being denied basic human rights. And there's lots of reasons for that. I'm not here to like really get into the ins and outs of that. Just an example of the word deserve. And then we come in more to like relationship context of, someone saying like, some you're with someone, this is a really common one, and they're trying to like break up with you, or like they just say it in passing, like, oh, you deserve better than what I can offer you. Yeah, run fast and fucking far. I can tell you that from personal experience. Um, it's, that's a very self-deprecating way to use the word deserve, and which means they're implying that they're not worthy of something. And it's not to say that it's good or bad, it's just an awareness thing. It's a very subconsciously like layered in word when someone says, about themselves, like, oh, you deserve better than me. Well, they think that they're not worthy, so in some ways that they're right. um but it's not about deserving. It's really what's laying underneath that word and what it really means. And so when we dive into the actual context that it's being used and the underlying themes attached to it, something completely different will open up. And this is like every time it's being used. So say you're like talking to a friend and complaining about your job, and they're like, you deserve better. What the fuck does that even mean? Like, I know it's a show of support. People that say it typically mean it in a really loving way. And usually that they don't really know what else to say, or are not comfortable actually saying the more, I think, accurate uh, reframe of that, which would be like, you have exactly what you're aligned with in life. So if you think you deserve better in your job or relationship, or where you live, or friends that you have, whatever it is, right? Like, whatever the thing you think you deserve better, the reality is that we all have exactly what we believe we deserve, right? And so something else I've been reflecting on too is like when other people like go out of their way to comment on your life that they think you deserve better in a certain area, that's their own fucking trigger. Okay, they're like reflect, like they're triggered by your circumstance and like don't know how to deal with that themselves, or haven't even discovered what that means for them yet. So it's coming out of like, oh, you deserve better. Okay, well, we're all exactly where we are and where we're meant to be. So who's to say we're deserving better, or like, because then that's to mean what is someone else to deserve worse? I don't really agree with that. And so we really have to take a nice look in the mirror when we're saying you deserve better, because everything that we're saying is a fucking projection of where we are, and the like where our mindset is and our heart and all of the like inner work that we're doing, and that we have an opportunity to keep doing when we're taking a look at the language that we use. It's very indicative of where we are on this deeper subconscious level. I've had, I actually had somebody end our friendship over the fact that she felt I deserved better in my relationship at the time. And I just let it go as, with as much ease and grace as I could. I, just let that go. And I knew what she was saying, and I knew that she was coming from a really like heartfelt place. And I also knew that um she was triggered on some level by my relationship, and she wanted answers from me that I just didn't feel like sharing because I was in my own process of sorting things out on a very deep level. And so I really was reflecting on that word deserve. And I'm like, what does that even mean? Like, I am where I am. And I know that things are not going the way that I want them to. However, we're all in our own place on this journey. We're all walking our own path. So who am I to say you deserve better? You have exactly what you need right now. And when you decide that you want something different from that, then you will create it for yourself. Like I've done it for myself many times over. I had, um, ironically enough, with that relationship, I had this person say that I deserve better and end our friendship one day. And it was literally already in the works. But the next morning, I left that person. So, it was just really funny how everything works out. And it is all in like perfect and divine order. Um, and I still feel that, this was, I don't know, what, 3 or 4 months ago at this point, and I'm so grateful for all of that and how everything worked out because I feel free, like really not having either of those people in my life now at the same capacity. I feel so much more like myself. I can literally say whatever the fuck I want without feeling like I'm going to offend anyone or them in particular, that I have to walk on eggshells. And so it worked out perfectly. So it's interesting too because in her saying she felt that I deserved better and then ending the friendship over that was also saying like I'm not worthy of that friendship because I deserve better in this other area. That's not really like how I personally handle things in my own life. I know plenty of people who like I would say, I can even say now like, oh, in my head I can think like they deserve better than that. But when I really dial into it of no, it's my own triggers that I'm projecting because I know what that feels like and maybe it's a point for me to heal on that more. Or like we have had similar experiences, so like we know what it's like to be in that position, but every single person has to learn on their own. There's no deserving and not deserving, right? We are where we are. We're on the journey that we've chosen to be on with every choice that we make. And so it really, like, the deserve concept has a lot to do with our self-esteem, um how we feel about ourselves, all of that internal stuff. And until we shift that on a very deep level, it's being reflected back to us externally, like how we feel about ourselves. Right. And I can fucking own that with like the previous relationship that I was in. Like, obviously, there was some really deep things there. Going on, and that was such a wonderful awareness exercise for me to have gone through. I it was interesting because I was in a really good place before I met this person, and then slowly over time, like, I just really kind of went downhill. Just a lot of factors went into that. And then I kept getting triggered further and further into my insecurities, which ultimately just showed me that wow, there's some areas that I can work on, and when I'm ready to exit this relationship, I will do so. And, that's been a priority for me, ever since I did end that relationship. So it's just very interesting. It's not a matter of deserve. Like, we all have exactly what is, right? You know, I feel that the universe really is neutral, and we forget that. And the word deserve kind of takes away that fact that the universe truly is neutral, because there is no good or bad. There's no deserving better than what is. Like, all we have is what is. Um, and so if you don't like what is your current reality, you get to sit with that discomfort and you get to feel that and you get to decide what you want to do about it. And if you want to do nothing about it, that's wonderful. No fucking judgment from me. However, give yourself a break and just own up to it and accept it, because we often live in such resistance to what is, and that's a whole other conversation, right? Like, how can we complain that we deserve better or some person deserves better, right? And then not really taking a look at ourselves. That doesn't make any sense to me. I really do my best to not say to anyone that they deserve better, and like that's one of the language reframes that I'm working on. So I want to talk about this, um, because I find it very fascinating of how everything that we're saying is a reflection of us and where we're at. There's no good or bad. There's no deserving anything. We're just here having an experience. And so really dial into that. Like, are you the one telling people they deserve better? And take a look at in the mirror at yourself. Do you feel you deserve better? Also take a look at the mirror into yourself and really like think, what is that? What is that really on a deep level? What's it really about? Because there's something there. I know when I've told people like in the past about like particularly their jobs, I'll be like, you deserve better than that fucking bullshit. Well, I also felt that way. And now, like now that I'm self-employed and I really enjoy my days and I'm not in that corporate structure, when someone says that, I just really can empathize with them and, just give them encouragement that, like, maybe it's possible to look for something else instead of saying you deserve better, because it's really not helpful or encouraging. It's just like perpetuating that shitty cycle that they're already in. Like they fucking know they deserve better. Like 9 out of 10, if you're saying that to someone, the person already knows because they have said something to you to make you respond with the phrase you deserve better, right? Or you deserve, you know, I don't even know what. You deserve a reciprocal partnership. You deserve to be loved in the same way. You deserve to live in a place that honors you. You deserve this. You deserve that. Like fill in the blank, whatever it is. It's just really, I don't find to be useful. And it just perpetuates a lot of self-deprecating cycles, self-esteem diminishing cycles, and just keeps people like in their loops. So let's like break the fucking loop and really think about like, what does that mean? What am I really wanting to say? Right? Wow. It's very fascinating to dial into the language that we use. And this is just a big awareness exercise of what is the language that I'm using as a whole in all ways, right? Like different words, right? Different words, different phrases, sentences, different contexts. What are we saying and what do we really mean? Like dialing in to more precise and accurate language to be more direct, to say what we just want, like just fucking say what you really mean and not sugarcoat it or reflect something back that is not actually a thing. Just say what you actually mean. I think also we find ourselves saying you deserve better when we don't know what to say, or um right, we are unsure why we're even like feeling that. So the easiest thing can be to just say you deserve better or some version of that, when truly it's everything is exactly what it is. So how can we say someone deserves better because they have exactly what is in alignment with their inner world? Whoa. That's not a good or bad thing. That just is what it is. That is a current reality. And saying that we deserve better or someone else deserves better is like in direct conflict with that. We must accept, we don't have to, I guess. It would be much easier to accept and surrender to what is now. And then there's a whole other difference. Like if you're unable to hold space for a person where they are, that's a whole other conversation, right? That means you're fucking triggered. Because something I'm learning on my journey is that I can be around whomever, doesn't matter where they are. I'm taking care of myself and I'm dealing with myself. And so I don't have to worry about like if somebody's not in a good place, because I can hold space for that experience and let it just flow through me versus have it affect me and get stuck inside of me. Because when things are getting stuck, we're triggered. We're feeling it, especially probably on a physical level as well. We're getting frustrated with it. Well, what is that? It's also like this need for control that comes into play with, especially if you're saying it over and over and over again to the same person about the same thing. It's like you're wanting to control the circumstance, and we really can't, because everything's happening just as it is and should and will be. Like there is no, I mean, should is a whole nother word, right? Like I shouldn't even be saying should. Because there is no should either. There just is, right? It is what it is, really. Um, and when we, each person, is ready to make change in that area, then we'll do it. And maybe sometimes it's never. And that's not to say like surround yourself with a bunch of people that trigger you so you can get over your triggers. We want to be mindful with who we're spending our time with, of course, because we are that sum of who we spend most of our time with. Wow. Right? And so I can be with people who are in a tough place, but am I surrounding myself on a daily basis with people who are in a tough place? No, because I'm continuously elevating myself. However, I can extend my love to them and I can be with them. Yeah. But I'm not going to concern myself with what's going on in their life because that's for them to move through. I can't control their experience. I can see so clearly what is going on. And a lot of it's because I've been in similar situations. And so, something that I say now to people instead of like, you deserve better, is when you're ready, and only when you're ready, and the time is right for you, you'll make a different choice. And then you'll make a different one after that, and you will build something different for yourself if you want to. And if not, I love you just the same, and I get it. I know that it's hard. I'm not here to judge anyone. I'm not here to tell someone what they should and shouldn't do with their life, right? Or what the best way for them to live it is, because we're all having this unique experience. We all have our own lessons to learn. Wow. How beautiful is that to hold space for every person's different lessons? That's really something. To come into that place and really feel like, yeah, wow, that must be hard. It must be tough to be experiencing that. And to not feel that in any kind of way of like that inner trigger, that discomfort that can come up, right? And just know that we're all on our own path. So hold space for that. Be mindful of the language that you're using and speaking into your life because that is also creating your reality. I think I did a video previously on that, so you can check that out. Your words create your world. They really do. So, again, if you feel you deserve better, know that you are exactly receiving what's in alignment for you right now. And if you want to receive something different, you've got to make different choices. You've got to shift yourself, look internally, and begin with that, right? Start inside, and then the external will reflect you. That's always what's happening. External reflects the internal. And if you find yourself telling people like a lot that they deserve better, look in the mirror. What is that speaking to you on a deep level? What is that triggering inside of you? What's the discomfort there? What are you wanting to control? What do you feel is out of control in your own life? Yeah, those are some deep fucking questions. Those are all things that I've been through for myself, and I've had to ask myself those questions, right? At some point or another. What am I really meaning here? What is this really about? Hmm. And when you can answer that question without the word deserve or should or whatever being in there, then you're really getting somewhere. You're peeling back the layers to really take a nice and good look at yourself. That's where true change and transformation come from, so that you can create what you desire in this life versus what you deserve. Okay. That's it for today. Love you lots, and I will catch you on the flip side.